Right, so you've got your first number one
Yeah.
after 10 years.
Hmm.
So just tell us a little bit more about that song, how it emerged, and what that number one number means to you.
Yeah. Well, I'm obviously incredibly honored that radio stations all across the country have chosen to play this song, and I've never had a number one in 10 years, and it's amazing. It's in a way, it's almost sweeter that it didn't happen immediately, and it's happening now, um, maybe it helped me as a younger worship leader and artist, maybe set my priorities straight. Where I feel like more than ever, I just feel like it's solidified in my heart that the successes for me, I mean, I've found that I'm so satisfied when I get to write a song, and whether it's 200 or 20,000 people get to sing these songs I've written to God and give the church a new song, a new voice to sing. It's just, I've found that's where I am most satisfied as a songwriter and an artist, and so I'm so thankful for the radio thing. But for me, it's just icing on the cake. It's just another thing to say thank you, Lord, for. It's not actually the end goal for me, but it's one of the goals, and it's very cool that it happened. And in some ways, I feel I'm so thankful that it was this song that was the first one that's kind of hit like this, because I love the story behind the song. It came out of this conversation I had with a buddy. His name's actually Josh Farrell. He used to be in a band called Paramore, and he was in Paramore at the time, and he was getting off the road, and he just wanted to get together. He knew I was in Nashville at the time, and he wanted to get together and write a worship song and just kind of step out of his world, and I thought it would be awesome. And so we got together and talked about family and touring life and just life in general, and then we're landing on the idea of just God's grace, how thankful we were that He shows it to us every day. And so we wrote a song really fast, and it's called "This Is Amazing Grace," and I sang it into my computer, into GarageBand, and it obviously sounded very unprofessional, but we had like a little copy of it just so we wouldn't forget it. But I did forget it like in a week, but he didn't, and a friend of his, is a pastor friend I think in the UK, asked if he had heard any new worship music that he was into that was blessing him, and he was saying, well, I actually wrote a worship song with this guy Phil Wickham, and so he, that little MP3 that we made traded hands with him, and over the next 2-3 years it traded hands from iPod to iPod, computer to computer, this little MP3, until it found its way all the way to California at Bethel Church in Redding, California, where Jesus Culture was born out of, and all the great Bethel worship music. And one of the worship leaders there, he's actually one of my favorite worship singers and songwriters. His name's Jeremy Riddle. He heard this song. Somehow they were talking about songs for their new record, and someone who had this song on their computer said, hey, have you heard this little song that this guy Phil Wickham wrote with my buddy Josh? And so they showed him the song, and I guess they all reacted great to it. They loved the chorus and a lot of the verse stuff, but wanted to rework it. So I got an email, and again, this is 3 years after this initial writing of the song. I got this email from Jeremy saying, hey, I've heard this song, this is Amazing Grace, we love the chorus and a lot of what's going on in the verses, but we'd love to try to kind of rework the lyrics, rewrite them. And I was like, you can write whatever you want. I mean, I felt almost, because it's been so long and I forgot it, I almost felt no ownership in it. Just like, whatever the Lord wants to do with that song, whatever you guys want to do, it sounds great. And he rewrote a lot of the lyrics of the verses, and just brought it to a whole nother level. He's a great songwriter, and then the first time I heard it, I remember they sent it down. They were practicing. They're going to put it on a live record, and they sent down like a demo of all the band playing live before they actually did the official recording. And I just remember being so moved by Jeremy's voice and the lyrics and how it was sounded. I remember thinking, man, I think I'm going to put this on my record, just so I just want to be able to sing it live and have a reason to sing it, because it really does celebrate it celebrates the grace and love of this God who's so full of glory and majesty, yet would meet us where we're at. And I wanted to be able to play it everywhere. So a few months later, when I started recording my record, we put it on my record, with actually no thought that it would even be a single. And then lo and behold, it's number one. So that's the story behind the song, and I love that story. I love that it has this kind of this process of that it was born out of somewhere that wasn't trying to write a single, wasn't trying to write even a song for a record. It was just born out of talking about God's grace and wanting to celebrate that. And then for some reason God saw fit to not let that idea die. And a couple years later, kind of resurrected it, and just I'm so happy to have been a part of it.